One of the brightest monuments of the Baroque era in Ukraine is St. Andrew's Church in Kyiv, consecrated in honor of Apostle Andrew I Cult. It was built by the project of famous architect Bartolomeo Rastrelli as a palace church. St. Andrew's Church is the high point of the Andrew's Descent ensemble that attracts tourists from all over the world. This site is unique for Ukraine. It is the only palace church in our country. The temple is also of world significance. Its interior is the only fully preserved to this day interior of a cult building designed by the world-famous architect Rastrelli. St. Andrew's Church Museum is a part of the National Conservation Area St. Sophia of Kyiv as a landmark of cultural heritage. It is inscribed on the UNESCO Tentative World Heritage List. In October 2018, by the decision of the Verkhovna Rada, the Parliament of Ukraine, the church was transferred to permanent use by the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople as a Starokyivska, that is, a permanent representation. The temple occupies an extremely difficult location. The building stands on a hill that is washed out by groundwater. The movement of soil of the unprotected hill constituted a threat to the safety of the church building. In 2007, the condition of the area near St. Andrew's Church was announced as an emergency, which required urgent measures to strengthen the hill and restore the church building. It was decided on the conduct of emergency and restoration work. Since 2009 to this day, St. Andrew's Church is under complex restoration. The ongoing repair and restoration works are the largest scale in the history of this site. The project is entirely financed from the state budget. In the first instance, measures to strengthen the hill were implemented step by step. 85 board piles and a drainage system were equipped in the park alley zone, and 142 piles and retaining reinforced concrete walls in the porch zone. To fix the soil, which began to wash out and slide, the workers drilled about 50 additional 6-meter piles, leveled the geometry of the slope, laid drainage geogrids, added loam and chernozem, and laid sod. The porch and the stylobed part of the church were waterproofed, the stylobed walls were reinforced with a metal belt and surrounded by a fence. The drainage, sewage and heat supply networks were updated. The emergency condition of the church building was successfully eliminated. A complex of works was carried out on the facades. The structure was strengthened and the roof was insulated. Architectural and decorative lighting was equipped and electric power supply track was laid. In contrast to Western Europe, where the facades of the monumental buildings were lined with stone, in Eastern Europe they were plastered. This allowed to paint them. During plaster and painting works of the church exterior, the destroyed parts of the decorative tower's stucco molding were recreated. The use of gold in decoration of the exterior is typical for Baroque of Eastern Europe. The gilded metal decor on facades was cleared and protected. One of the main structural problems of St. Andrew's Church was the cast iron staircase. The steps laid on the concrete base were constantly rotting due to water stagnation and freezing under them. Now they are not on the traditional mortar, but on the supports with space in between what protects from atmospheric precipitation influence. Works on replacement of internal engineering networks, namely power supply and lighting, security and fire alarm systems, were executed inside the building. New heating system and restoration of the floor are underway. The interior of the church is a striking example of the harmonious synthesis of arts, modeling, decorative wood carving, and exquisite painting. Diversity of modeling on the walls of the church turned out the plastering and painting activities into really delicate work. The main decoration of the church is a 22-meter iconostasis with 39 original icons of the 18th century. It was strengthened, cleaned, treated with special substances. The backside of it was covered with fireproof tarpaulin to preserve the microclimate and to prevent from mechanical damage. Restoration of the icon of the 18th century, the Last Supper, was carried out directly on the side due to its large size and the volume of the gilded carved frame. Restoration of the largest monumental composition in St. Andrew's Church, a painting of the mid-19th century by Ukrainian artist Platon Borispolits, the Sermon of the Apostle Andrew, was especially responsible. Apparently, the work has never been removed from its place, which led to the accumulation of a large amount of dust, causing the lower part of the canvas to become completely decayed. The painting Choice of Face by Grand Prince Volodymyr, due to its large size, was restored simultaneously by 3 artist restorers. During the restoration works, a metal casing of the 19th century was removed from the altar, under which an inscription of the 18th century had been found. It refers to the consecration of St. Andrew's Church on St. Andrew's Day, which took place on August 19, 1767. The ongoing program of a complex restoration of St. Andrew's Church is almost completed. Follow us to learn about the opening day.